else? We got new releases?
Yes, we have a big one.
Oh, that sounds sexual.
We were living it up with the Knights on Gotham.
I played some of that with you.
That's right. I played a good amount at this point. I feel like.
Okay.
Yes. So, Ship, you've been playing Gotham Knights. What do you think of it? We'll start with you.
It's a game that they made that does not have Batman in it, but has Batman cursory characters.
Bat friends, Bat family, technically.
Bat family, yeah. So it's odd. So the game starts and there's like a 15-minute cutscene.
There's way too much cutscene at the beginning of this game.
Where it's all about Batman dying.
Yeah, because that's where the Batman is. They have to have Batman in there in their non-Batman game.
Right. But you have that and you know, like, okay, he's going to die. And the way that he dies, it's
drunk driving accident. It was so weird.
It's not heroic.
Yeah.
Really in any way. And it's unnecessary at the same time. So it feels really forced where they could have just kept him dead to begin with and then gone from there. If they're going to do this. Or kept him alive. What if they'd have kept him alive and you could play as him?
Well, they could have. There's two weird things. They could have just opened it up where literally, like, you know, when they show that thing where someone's walking down a street and a newspaper falls into a puddle and you see the headline of the newspaper, Bruce Wayne funeral today.
That's enough.
And then it just then you just pan camera up to skyline. You do Gotham Knights, and then you zoom right in on Dick Grayson tutorial. So that should have been the whole intro. The
game itself it's an open world Assassin's Creed style of game, right? It's a Ubisoft open world style game.
Yes, it's not as good a map.
No, but that's what you could say about most of it, right? It's like this game, but it's not as good.
Yeah.
Because the whole time you're playing it, you're like, okay, you're kind of moving around like Spider-Man would in his game. But the difference being Spider-Man, you can control where you're going very easily and it's fluid. And this is just like you hit a button and your grappling hook goes up and it attaches to wherever it wants to attach to. And you go shooting up to the building and there's no real reason to do it other than like, this is how I get across the city, or I call my bat cycle and there's a button to pop a wheelie.
That's good.
Well, and when you pop a wheelie, you could drive over cars.
Over things.
Yeah. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's fine, but it doesn't feel fast either.
There's not it's like very weirdly slow.
It's like you're going like 30 miles an hour.
But the map also,
you would expect there to be like a button that's like, all right, I'm going to go crazy fast here button. And that button doesn't exist.
Did you unlock the fast travel yet?
I don't believe so, but why do you have an open world game where you want to fast travel? Is always
because this game doesn't need to be an open world game.
It does not. It needs to be just mission to mission. And we played the co-op too.
Mm-hmm.
And the co-op is just, you're in the open world and you can do the missions as well. But the open world is just like, it's like Spider-Man again, where
the fighting's not as good as Spider-Man.
Correct.
And they try, but it's a very similar style of fighting.
Correct.
But again, but not as good. It's very strange because there is a good Batman fighting engine that they chose to not use. And instead they went with something that's a little, I would describe it, I guess, a little looser.
Shittier, I think is the word.
Well, yeah, that's the word. But it is a little bit more in line with Spider-Man. With the Spider-Man style of fighting, where it's one button to punch and another button to use the projectiles. But unlike Spider-Man's projectiles, the ones in this game do absolutely nothing. Like they rarely cause any damage of any note. You're just mashing
not even
that.
The guns that I use as Red Hood. I'm just capping like police officers who saw me in the head while I'm fighting them.
Maybe you need to level up your guns.
The bullets don't do anything. They just
well, they're non-lethal bullets. I think I read in one of the things that they're non-lethal bullets, but I'm pretty sure at the range that I'm shooting people with them.
Right.
Yeah, you just got to beat people in the head with a stick until they fall down.
Right. That's not lethal.
Mm-hmm.
Never lethal.
Mm-mm.
No one ever died getting beaten in the head.
But when you're doing the non-open world missions, it's a little bit more interesting. When you're in the iceberg lounge sneaking around to get to the penguin, that's a little more interesting. When you're in the museum trying to get to Mr. Freeze, it's a little more interesting. You know, I just did the mission in the movie theater where I have to find Harley Quinn. That's a little bit, it's like that stuff isn't terrible. It's when you're not doing that stuff, and sometimes they force you to do the open world stuff. Or and I don't. The open world just it's
hard to do it right.
It's a dead city. It's not good. It's not a good city. They did a bad job on.
It's such a weird game structure too. Like because there's 4 characters in the game, right? There's Robin, there's Nightwing, Batgirl, and Red Hood. All your favorite douchey characters from Batman,
from Titans.
But you can only play co-op as 2 players.
Yes.
But they made 4 characters.
Right. It's hard.
Like,
it's a lot of work to do the netcode.
It's just weird because the whole time this was leading up, like here's Gotham Knights. There's 4 characters.
You just assumed
it's like,
it was going to be 4.
You just assumed the entire time, right? That like this is a 4-player co-op game where
something like Destiny, but with Batman. Friends,
something.
Destiny.
And it's not, and the co-op is not interesting.
There are some interesting ideas. There's like the crafting concept is interesting. I don't know how successful it is. You can craft new outfits for your characters that do have, that do make a difference to your character's abilities. And you can, get minutia on, the Nightwing's mask and his gloves and his boots. It's, it's not just the one outfit. So there's something interesting to be said about that. I mean, it does keep you moving, like, oh, I want to unlock another, pair of boots for Nightwing. But I think that it would have been more successful. I think if you had a Batman game with that kind of crafting system, it would be significantly more interesting, because I'd rather have 15 Batman cowls than 3 Nightwing visors, 3 Batgirl visors.
Wombat's bat math.
No, well, you know what I mean? It's just, if
does the story like line pick up at all? Like I'm still early in it.
A little bit.
Early on in the game, I'm like, I guess we're doing something here, but it doesn't have any, like, you're just picking up on whatever Batman was, his last case that got him killed, but no spoilers. He gets killed by the same guy who always fights him and kills him. Not the Joker, the other one. Ra's al Ghul.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, there's just this part of me that's just, so you can play any mission as any one of the 4 characters. You could switch between missions and play as any one of the 4 characters. The lines of dialogue change depending upon who you're using. Obviously, the cutscenes will look a little bit different depending upon who you're using. I feel like if they had taken that whole element out and streamlined it to just one character, they probably could have focused a little bit better and made a better game.
It feels fuzzy on what the vision of this game is.
Even maybe even 2. If it was just Nightwing and Batgirl, it would be just fine, and it would make sense in the sense of trying to make this co-op game. I don't think Robin.
What about Batman and Robin? What do you think about that game?
I mean, but you're not wrong. Like, yeah. Or again, it could have been just Batman.
And since it's only 2-player multiplayer anyway, like,
yeah, Batman and Robin, that would have been kind of neat. And then you could play as Robin whenever you want.
I just don't get it. Like, why are these games trying to like get us to like these characters when they already know which characters we like?
Right.
It doesn't, like, you can't tell me that Gotham Knights is going to sell more than if you had Batman and Robin.
Impossible.
Yeah.
It's literally impossible.
You could have called it Batman and Robin Gotham.
That's what I would
Yes, of
call
course.
it.
Yeah.
That's
That's-
exactly what I would call it. Just call it Batman,
Batman
and
and
Robin.
Robin.
Guess what? Here's a game where you and your friend can play as Batman and Robin.
Right.
And Batman drives a Batmobile, Robin drives a Batcycle, and and by the way, here's the skin if you want to make Robin look like Nightwing.
Right, exactly. You can turn you can turn Robin into all the different Robins that you want.
Yeah. Oh, you want to look like Tim Drake Robin? Here you go. Although in this game, Tim Drake Robin looks like Damian Wayne Robin, and they don't have a Tim Drake Robin costume, and it bothers me. So yeah, that's a thing that I just said.
It's an okay game, but we've played so many of these games, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, I'm sticking with it, maybe just because I don't have much else.
I feel like I'm gonna play some more of it, but in bits and pieces. Like, it's not like something that I need to sit down and really
what I did tonight
through
before the show, because I was in the mid, it was sort of had started a mission, then I noticed what time it was. I'm like, oh, I better finish this up. So I lowered the difficulty down to very easy to see how easy very easy was, because I had been playing it on normal. And oh my goodness, very easy is a little too easy.
It says very easy.
I was one punching guys as Nightwing, and I was like, oh, I'll have to change that after. I just need to remember to do that, just to bump it back to normal when I get back to that game. We're all going to be surprised.
Nice. What else is out this week?
Anything?
Let me look through here real quick. The Garbage Pail Kids game came out.
Oh yeah, I saw that on the Xbox. Did you get that?
So I don't generally do this, but they put this out on I think it was I Am 8-Bit maybe had this, and they have it on a Nintendo cartridge for this game because it's an NES style game. So I bought that. So I think I have a Steam code coming my way from that, but I might double dip on this. It's $10. I'm sure it's super high quality, but yeah, I'm interested in Garbage Pail Kids game. I spent my money on it.
Nice.
The new Tales from the Borderlands came out as well.
I saw an Instagram ad for that.
I've heard it's good. I've heard it's good. I never finished the first Telltale game of the Tales from the Borderlands, so I feel like I would need to maybe finish that first before plopping down the $50 or $40 on this version. It seems like a lot for this game, right?
Right. I'm surprised. It's basically a full price.
Mm-hmm. Oh, another one we've been playing. The kids have been playing Miraculous: Rise of the Sphinx. So that is
more mummies?
No.
Oh.
Well, no.
Some
no.
mummies.
So Miraculous, of course, is Ladybug and Cat Noir. If you're familiar with those characters.
I'm not.
So Ladybug and Cat Noir are
my daughter likes this show, and she's
French
14.
Sure. It's a French superhero show, like a cartoon, CG cartoon. And both my kids love it for different reasons for the most part. Like, there's a lot of action to it, but there's also a lot of like teen drama, like, or preteen, like 13-year-old, 14-year-old drama in it.
Sure.
So the game does that as well, which is hilarious because Emmeline wants to mainly play the parts where they're going around and talking to characters and having the conversations and going around the high school. And then they mix that in with the action levels of just going up and climbing on buildings and beating people up. So, and you can play co-op in this game. And there's two characters that you can play as.
Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Batman and Robin.
Yeah, they came in this game. Ladybug and Cat Noir, they killed them off early on in the game and replaced them with Batman and Robin.
So the new Jackbox came out this week, but only on Switch and Steam. I think that's interesting because I have all my other ones on the Xbox.
I'm sure it'll come this way.
Yeah, it's very popular in this house, those Jackbox games. So interesting.